show a method of setting up a more conventional IKFK setup using that the Genoma, what's it called? The Genoma G2 bypass. This one, the IKIFplus.Rig. That's included in Lightwave 2019. So I've already made this little guy. I've put the rig on him. I've matched him to the rig. He's got his weights the way the rig wants him. So he's all good to go. So I'm going to send him into layout. So there he is. I'm going to make the rig. Blah, 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 whatever that means. So, and there we've got our guy. He is working as expected. He's got his IK and his sort of FK on top of the IK. This sort of interesting setup that this rig uses. Now, you might not want that kind of setup because that won't let you do things like have the character's hands on the table while he moves around or whatnot. It's good for posing and maybe some motions, but it's not what I think a lot of people want. It's easy, however, to adjust this rig so that it does what you want. And what you do is you grab the goals, those four right there. You want to copy them. Control-C, clone them. Before I do anything else, I'm going to rename those. I'm going to give them something I recognize, so I'm going to call them whatever their name is, and then world, so I can easily find them. I'm going to do that with all four. So now I'm going to open this thing, the scene editor, so you can see where they are. And I'm going to take them all, and I'm going to these guys, and I am going to put them in the world. So they're not child or anything. And just for now, I'm going to move them out of the way so we can see them. Okay. So here we've got our originals and the copies that are called world. Right? Now what we want is we want the copies to follow the world. So what we do is, well, there's lots of ways to do this, but I'm going to use the assign menu. So you grab these, the one that you want, and you use assign. I guess they don't have it in there. Whatever. I have mapped everything to my mouse button, so I'm going to store selected, wherever that is on your machine, and assign same as position. Now, if we look at it there, you can see that the position follows that. And what we want to do is we want to, in order to set up a switch later on, we are going to put an envelope on there. We don't really need to do anything with that right now. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. So I'm going to do that with all of them. This one actually we're going to want to use the rotation of too. So which one have I got? I've got the hand goal R. That is the original. It says right there, not the one with world on it. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the same thing with the rotation. Now I'm going to do it in here, and I can use the new thing in 2019 where text search. I can find the right one, and that is the right hand world. So same as item, same as item, same as item, world. So there we go. Got to make sure that's on world in that one too. Otherwise you get weird stuff going on. So I'll go on and turn that on. I'll go and do that with the rest of them. Now I've assigned these to hotkeys, so I'm going to do it like quickly, so you won't necessarily see what I'm doing. But I've assigned my store selected and assigned to different hotkeys. So I'm going to store selected, assign position, store selected, assign position, store selected, assign position, and assign rotation. So now our buddy has a more conventional IK. However, it's always on, which you don't necessarily want. You want FK sometimes too. And the way you set that up is, so let's put them back where they are. So now everything's back where it's supposed to be. So to set up a switch, basically, first we're going to need a switch. So to make a null, call it IKFK switch. There you go. And let's put it somewhere you can see it. So I am going to use the Y translation. So I'm going to turn off the other two. I'm going to turn off the stretch, and I'm going to turn off the rotation. And I'm also going to go into the motion options for this guy. In position, I am going to set a limit on the Y of 0 to 1. All right, so now we've got a switch. We can move it up, we can move it down. What we're going to do is when we move it up, we want IK to be on, and we move it down, we want IK to be off. So the way we're going to do that is, now what we don't, now we want the originals. So here we've got the new ones I've made, but I want the originals. So we're looking for hand goal L. So let's hand goal L right there. So if we turn on motion options, now you see, oh, that's the 0. Don't use the 0, get the real one. Hand goal L. The zeros are how it zeroes out the position. So we don't want to touch those. Leave those where they are. Motion ops for that. There we've got position and rotation. Use that. And now I'm going to use cycler. I recommend cycler instead of expressions because I've noticed that cycler tends to be more stable, particularly when you're importing or loading from scene and whatnot. It updates the names properly. Expressions, you need to do that manually later, at least in my experience. If someone knows the solution to that, please tell me, but cycler is good for this. So let's add a modifier. Let's add cycler. Using cycler, let's follow our switch. Now this is useful in the cycler interface. The newest null is always at the bottom. So let's find the position of Y. And all of these default settings are good. We're not going to change them. So the way cycler works is it links the motion of one item, of one channel, to a curve in the graph editor of the source item. So what I've done, and the default settings in cycler is it takes the input, which is 0 to 1 of the item that you've chosen, and it will then map it from 0 to -1 keys. So let's set -1 at 100, and let's set 0 at 0. So now, what should happen is if I move this, now you see there's a dotted line at 0. As I move this up, you should see it goes all the way up. And this is the blending. So that's all well and good. And we should be able to see that. Let's see which one is it. Left-hand goal. So let's take the, was it, let's see, left-hand goal L, and this one was its position. So let's take left-hand goal L world, move it over here. Now you can see the FK switch working. So now all we got to do is we got to copy that to all the others. So what we got to do is pick where is that guy, left-hand goal here, and we copy envelope, paste envelope. And we do the same to that guy, paste envelope, paste envelope. Now I'm just picking all of the original control nulls there. Paste envelope and paste envelope. So now we should have a fully functional IKFK rig with a switch, or at least arms. The arms are IKFK. The legs are IK only. No. Here's another thing you might want to do, is just so you don't accidentally grab them, take all these guys and lock them. You don't need them anymore. In fact, you can hide them. Although let's not hide them so we can see them now. Now we have a conventional IKFK switch. And it didn't take that long to set up. It goes really quickly once you figure out how to do it. So now IK, and go back to FK. and all the FK controls are where you'd expect them to be relative to the arms. So it's just super standard stuff. So, I mean, this Genoma rig gives you a really nice setup that you can then modify pretty easily to make whatever kind of rig you want. Now, I don't know if this isn't, if you can then update the Genoma rig, just the update rig. You should be able to. I don't see why it would. You might wind up breaking those connections. I don't know what gets written over and doesn't, but yeah, it's outside of the rig. It's not breaking anything. You're not doing major modifications, but you get proper IKFK. I know some people have mentioned that motion mixer can be a problem with this setup, and it can, but there's a solution, and it's something that they have fixed in 2019 that worked in 2018 as well, but it was kind of messy. But now it works quite well, and it works very well if you use Cycler. You can have this entire guy work fine in Motion Mixer. What you do essentially is when you make your Motion Mixer item in the graph editor. Oh, let's give a keyframe to this guy so he shows up. So what you're going to want to do is in Motion Mixer, once you set up your Motion Mixer character, let's actually set up, I'll make a Motion Mixer character with just the goals, just to show you how this works. So I've got just the goals there. Now normally you put everything in this Motion Mixer, but I want to make it quicker. So I'm going to make a Motion Mixer character. I'm going to create an actor, call him goals, because that's just the goals. Okay. Now normally what would happen then is when you tried to use your switch, it wouldn't work. Motion Mixer would ignore it. So if you change the switch in Motion Mixer, the effect wouldn't propagate into the final animation. However, this is fixable. All you've got to do is on the switch, on the channel that you use, you just add this Motion Mixer channel driver. And the other thing you need to do, I forgot about this, is, nope, that's it. You know, I think that's all you got to do. Let me try this to make sure it's right. All right, so we've got that guy going on. Let's make this a Motion Mixer motion. Let's create a motion, call it test 1. Sure, why not? And let's put it there. Let's see, no, let's see. Okay, nothing's moving. Good. Add a motion, put it right here. So what should happen is, yep, there it goes. Works perfectly fine, and this is always going to work. What it's doing is using the Motion Mixer channel driver to Motion Mixer now reads this channel, which means that all of these goals and whatnot, and or the curves that are reading the goals, these guys, they can see the motion. Right? That's not that good dissolve. I don't want that one. Why do I have to dissolve? Who did that? No. These guys. Oh, I can't select them. I forgot. Lock them. These guys. These guys instead. Yeah, you see, they can see and are affected by the Motion Mixer curves. And as I move these back and forth, this will update. I think I have to. I'm assuming it updates. Yeah, we've got to tap it again. Okay. But yeah, so it all works. Motion Mixer is fine. You don't have to use Motion Baker or any messy crap like that. It all works. In 2018, the problem is when you used that trick with the channel driver modifier on the channel, it would stop working when you reloaded the scene. And you would have to remove the modifier and put it back on. So you could get it to work, but you'd have to remember to do that every time you open the scene. Now they fixed that bug, so this is in effect the moment you open the scene, and it's all good. So then you get a fully Motion Mixer compatible IKFK rig, and honestly the whole thing, if you've once done it a couple times, it won't take you more than 5 minutes to set up. That's it. That's this tutorial. Yeah. All right.